What we do on this channel is talk about football. The good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing. And today is a day where we got to talk about really, really, really unfortunate stuff that went down. Like really, really unfortunate stuff. I'm gonna pull up Vinicius Jr.'s Twitter real quick, and I'll Google translate it for you guys for everyone to be able to understand it. It wasn't the first time, wasn't the second time, wasn't the third time. Racism is normal in La Liga, and he goes on to talk about how he was in a very, very tough situation today with Valencia fans during a Real Madrid Valencia game. It's not the first time it's happened to him. It's not the second time. It's happened a lot in La Liga, and this is something that, first of all, I think racism is the most horrific thing in the world, lads. I think it's just bad, man. I don't understand why someone gets abused based off the color of their skin or how they're born. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, with that being said, there is videos that come out of the fans just calling him awful names. Then there's a fight that breaks out where Vinicius Jr. gets a red card, even though he's the one that gets choked out. It's just a very, very horrendous situation to see in football, because this sport is about love, family, kids, and you know, like as a father, I'm not a father, but I'm saying if I was a father, but I remember the first time I sat down and watched the game with my dad, and the bond that me and my father had because of football, right? There's something that we could always talk about, at least for me. And I pray when I have kids, I get to have that experience with my kids of taking kids to games and letting them enjoy that. But when they're in an environment where you're attacking a player and a kid is seeing this, I just don't think it's good. Sports is meant for us. All of us have something terrible going on in life, and sports is our getaway from that, right? For 2 hours of watching a football match, you get to forget about your terrible day. And when things like this are taking place and people are being attacked, I think it takes away from the beautiful game. And I feel for Vinicius Jr., and it's a horrendous situation that honestly we shouldn't even talk about, but we have to talk about it. Now, I want to talk about the things that that come with it, right? Because first of all, we could sit here and talk about Vinicius Jr. the whole time, but I want to talk about the consequences this has on La Liga. By the way, there's been many heavy, higher up people in La Liga that have come out and actually been against Vinicius Jr., against him, not for him, like talking against him, saying that he provokes the situation. He provokes the situation, kind of stuff like this. Here's the deal, lads. I want to keep this a full stack with everybody. No matter what a person does on the field, even if he is provoking people, because on a football field, if you've ever played sports, you know the number one thing is to talk smack to your opponents. That's what people do. A lot of players feed off of, talking smack to players. Even if you look at the NBA recently, Jimmy Butler and another player were in each other's face talking smack to each other. And then Jimmy Butler has this crazy game. That's the NBA. Has a crazy game, and that's sports, right? So anyone who thinks that because Vinicius Jr. is provoking somebody should then be racially abused, that's just crazy. If a fan wants to, boo him and stuff, that's fine. But to take it to the level of racism, that's terrible. And the consequences this has on La Liga, let's talk about it. Some of the best players in our game right now, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rudiger, you now have a situation where some of the best players, are black. And what happens now is this: you're in a situation where they might not want to play in La Liga. And La Liga always has the best stars: Ronaldinho, Neymar, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. A lot of the best stars always play in La Liga. But now you have a situation where Mbappe was supposed to join Real Madrid for years. Does he want to go there with what Vinicius Jr.'s what's happening to him and them not protecting him? Does Vinicius Jr. want to stay? Does Vinicius Jr. want to leave to Manchester United, Man City? Now, we've seen racism in England as well, but they protect their players more, at least from what I've seen. But Vinicius Jr. has been going through this all year, and they haven't protected them. By the way, nothing happened against Man City. Nothing happened against Chelsea. Nothing happened against Liverpool when he played against Trent, when he plays against Walker, no situations happen in any of these games. They only happen in La Liga. So for Vinicius Jr., as you sit down, do you go, do I want to stay in La Liga? Yes, you're playing for the biggest team in the world. Yes, you're at Real Madrid, but is it worth the abuse you're getting when you can go to another team? And I'm not saying he's going to, I'm just saying that probably goes through his mind. Does Mbappe come to Madrid with what's taking place? Is Fati or Dembele comfortable at Barcelona with what they're seeing happening to Vinicius Jr., nobody protecting them? You have to think about all of these things, because this is the consequences that it's going to have on La Liga. Because, guys, we live in 2023 right now, bro. Like, we're in 2023. The year 2023, and we're still talking about dumb shit like this happening. And sorry for cursing, but it really, really irritates me, because when you're born, bro, we're all the same, bro. There's nothing, you know what I mean? So for me, this is a conversation that a lot of people don't want to talk about and don't want to acknowledge it. But the truth is, it needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be talked about at the highest of levels, and it needs to be serious consequences. For me, Valencia fans and Valencia should play behind closed doors for at least 3 games. And that is what should happen. You know, you see so many teams around Europe getting fined for having flares in their stadium. How do you get fined for having flares in your stadium, but you're not getting fined when videos are leaking of them saying terrible things about Vinicius Jr.? I don't even want to repeat what they were calling him. But the fact that this isn't fined, right? That's wild. And I want to make this very clear. It happens in every stadium around the league. It's happened in my favorite club stadium. I've seen videos of fans chanting terrible stuff at Hawk when he played for Porto, the incredible Hawk. And I thought it was absolutely disgusting. And I thought Benfica should have been fined for that. Because at the end of the day, if you're finding teams for flares or what is thrown into the stadium when they throw like golf balls or lighters or whatever, the teams get fined for that. Why are teams not getting fined when videos like this surface? Why are teams not playing behind closed doors more often when videos like this surface? When fights like this break out? Teams need to be fined, because at the end of the day, you need to protect all players, no matter what the color of their skin is. All players need to be protected in any way, shape, or form. I think the NBA does a pretty good job of trying to protect their players. A lot of times, whenever you see an incident with fans and the fan instantly gets banned from the stadium, a lot of times it results in, I don't know if you guys ever remember I think it was like the brawl in the Palace or something like that. It was a Detroit game where the Detroit players ended up in the stands absolutely boxing, fighting fans. It was crazy. Detroit players is wild. I think it was Detroit versus Pistons game. It was a long time ago. But it's just a situation, lads, where, we're starting to see the other day in the West Ham game for the Europa, the Conference League, whatever that league is, there was a massive fight between fans. And all I'm saying to y'all is, I think that teams should be held more responsible for the actions of their fans. And especially when it comes to a situation like this, that's so important. Because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to explain to you is this. There is kids in those stadiums. And when kids think that it's okay to bark those kind of absolutely terrible racist slurs and screaming and barking and yelling and doing what you're doing, it just, when you're showing that to little kids, because there's kids in the stadium, you're making it okay. And that's just never okay. And I think La Liga and I think all leagues around the world need to 100% put their foot down on this and send a message. Close the door. 3 games suspension. No fans in the stadium, bro. You're playing behind closed doors. You know how much money teams lose when they can't sell tickets for 3 games, 4 games? Massive amount of money, right? There needs to be something that takes place. You might say, oh, it's not Valencia's fault. You're right. It's not Valencia's fault. It's not Valencia, the club's fault. But at the end of the day, like I said, if your fans go into the stadium and you throw cups and you throw golf balls and you throw lighters, they get fined. If the fan lights up flares and there's flares getting thrown, usually in a lot of leagues, you get fined. All these situations are things that you get fined for. So I don't understand how you can't fine clubs and make clubs play behind closed doors for mistreating players, right? That is, we saw it many years ago. A lot of y'all, I don't know if you remember, if you might be younger, Eto'o almost walked off the field for Barcelona. Same situation. He was gone. He was not going to play no more. He was ready to walk off the field. Eto wasn't going to play no more. The Barca fans the Barca players, right card at the time was the manager. I think Dingo was there. They all talked to Eto, if I remember correctly, and kind of helped him stay on the field because he was ready he was gone, bro. He was not going to play no more. So again, chat, I didn't mean to say, I don't know why I said chat there, but just because these guys make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars does not mean that they should have to take abuse. That's all I'm saying to you. It's their job, right? They shouldn't. Yeah, it's their job at the end of the day, but nobody wants to go to work. No matter what job you work, just because you're getting paid a lot or a little doesn't mean you should take abuse, right? If you work at McDonald's, someone shouldn't be able to come up to the line and be like, "Oh, make me my hamburger," blah 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 blah, and call you all kinds of names. That's just not how life works, bro. No matter what job you're doing, no matter the amount of money you're making, not money, you shouldn't be able to be treated terribly. And the company that you work for, at the end of the day, this is all companies. La Liga is a company. Real Madrid's a company. Valencia is a company. Even though there are clubs, they're companies. They need to do better at protecting their players. Get in the comments down below. Let me know the consequences and what you think should happen to these clubs that these things are happening at. 100%, I backed Vinicius Jr. here. And I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter what Vinicius Jr. was saying to people. It doesn't matter how Vinicius Jr. was acting on the field. Vinicius Jr. could be the biggest absolute ass person. Okay, he could be a terrible human being, all right? But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be abused racially because of your skin color just because you're an ass, right? There's other ways to attack a person like that. There's other ways, not attack, but there's other ways to get a person back like that, okay? Turning to that is not the answer, in my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope La Liga does something. Because what's going to end up happening is players like Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Dembele, Rudiger, the list goes on, are not going to want to play in La Liga. And it's going to be another advantage for the Premier League, which is already, in my opinion, a more exciting league. If it wasn't for Barca and Real Madrid being able to buy the best stars, La Liga would low-key kind of be relevant, right? But, and I don't mean that in any way, shape, or form disrespectful, because I love Sevilla, I love all those clubs. But at the end of the day, a lot of people watch La Liga because the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Dingos, the Etos, the Viniciuses, right? Like the Premier League, a lot of people, everyone says it's kind of a more entertaining football. So at the end of the day, if these stars stop going there because the way the fans are acting, because the way La Liga is not defending the players, it's going to be a bad situation for La Liga. It's going to be a real bad situation for La Liga. So we'll see how it plays out. Vinny, I know you'll never see this, buddy, but I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're a fantastic player. And look, man, as someone who likes Real Madrid, I hope Mbappe goes there one day. But all of this, it really, really persuades people not to go somewhere, man. So we'll see what happens in the future. Hey, y'all be safe. Y'all stay amazing. I love you guys. And I'll catch y'all real soon, man. Love you guys, man. Hey, say no to racism, man.